Senator John Kennedy makes earth-shaking announcement. This changes everything. In the heart of Louisiana, where the winding bayous carve through lush landscapes teeming with wildlife, and the humid air hums with the echoes of resilient communities, Senator John Kennedy stands as a pillar of dedicated leadership, tirelessly working to represent the interests of the hard-working people who make this state their home. As a key member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, he has built a solid reputation as a vigilant overseer of justice, meticulously vetting nominees for critical roles in the Department of Justice to ensure they embody the utmost levels of integrity, impartiality, and adherence to the rule of law. His commitment to his constituents is profound, manifesting in his rigorous oversight of public expenditures, where he scrutinizes every line item to guarantee that taxpayer dollars are allocated efficiently, fostering economic growth while safeguarding the most vulnerable populations from wasteful spending. Kennedy has been a fervent champion for job creation, especially within Louisiana's cornerstone energy industry, advocating for policies that prioritize domestic production to diminish reliance on foreign sources, thereby generating stable, well-paying jobs that support families in urban centers and rural outposts alike. His influential position on the Appropriations Committee has enabled him to secure substantial federal funding for infrastructure enhancements projects that not only repair damage from recurring natural disasters, but also invigorate local economies by empowering small businesses to expand and innovate in the face of adversity. Envision the vibrant yet tense atmosphere within the marble halls of the Capitol building, where political discussions simmer with intensity akin to a pot of spicy jambalaya bubbling on the stove, and where a particularly contentious nomination for a senior Justice Department position has ignited fervent debates among lawmakers and the public. This nominee is facing serious allegations of having counseled clients to disregard federal court orders, an accusation that cuts to the essence of legal ethics and prompts a deeper examination of how the justice system maintains its credibility. Kennedy, with his characteristic principled resolve, approaches his preparation for an upcoming interview on a prominent news network with a focused determination, retreating to the quiet confines of his office, adorned with detailed maps, highlighting Louisiana's diverse parishes, and stacks of documents chronicling his legislative achievements. He contemplates the fundamental tenets of the legal framework, reaffirming to himself and his aides that disagreement with a federal judge's decision does not grant permission to ignore it outright. Instead, one must engage in respectful criticism within ethical guidelines, pursue an appeal through established judicial processes, or if the conflict is irreconcilable, choose to resign from the situation to preserve professional integrity. This philosophy is not merely theoretical for him, it's a lived practice that has guided his interrogations during numerous committee hearings, where he poses pointed questions to nominees to confirm their alignment with these core principles, fostering a judiciary that serves all Americans fairly. As he meticulously reviews his briefing materials, Kennedy incorporates his signature folksy expressions, distilling intricate legal concepts into accessible narratives such as, observing that if accusations of corruption are flung at everyone indiscriminately, then the term loses its meaning entirely, effectively neutralizing the impact of opportunistic whistleblowers who appear during politically charged nomination processes. His preparatory routine is deliberate and thorough, drawing from extensive experience in dissecting federal budgets to eliminate inefficiencies and promote equitable resource distribution, a skill set that parallels his overarching goal of delivering tangible benefits to the citizens of Louisiana. Extending beyond the immediate demands of Washington, his advocacy for comprehensive disaster relief efforts highlights his unbreakable connection to the state's populace, who routinely confront the devastating impacts of hurricanes, tropical storms, and flooding with an indomitable spirit forged through generations of perseverance. Kennedy has waged persistent campaigns to procure billions in federal assistance, directing these resources toward the reconstruction of shattered homes, educational facilities, and transportation networks in communities battered by severe weather, ensuring that residents in flood-prone areas are not left to fend for themselves as insurance costs escalate dramatically. He has been a vocal proponent for meaningful reforms to the National Flood Insurance Program, emphasizing the necessity of keeping premiums accessible for those residing in high-risk zones, thereby protecting family legacies and preventing widespread displacement in the aftermath of calamities. Leveraging his committee influence, he has funneled investments into vital infrastructure repairs, including the maintenance of locks, dams, and protective levees that function as essential arteries for trade, agriculture, and daily mobility, yielding widespread benefits that enhance employment prospects and bolster long-term economic resilience throughout the region. With the interview drawing nearer, a wave of anticipation sweeps through not only the political circles in the nation's capital, but also the everyday locales of Louisiana, from the lively streets of Baton Rouge to the resilient shores of Lake Charles, where locals prepare to watch their senator articulate their values with unvarnished honesty and unshakable fortitude. Kennedy's distinctive communicative approach, infusing his statements with homespun analogies that render even the most arcane legal matters as approachable as a casual backyard barbecue, distinguishes him from his peers, converting what could be adversarial exchanges into enlightening dialogues that resonate broadly. He draws upon recollections of prior committee sessions where he has rigorously examined nominees on essential legal doctrines, advancing only those who demonstrate unwavering competence and ethical fortitude, all conducted with a civility that garners bipartisan esteem. This phase of readiness transcends simple script rehearsal. It represents a profound recommitment to his foundational beliefs, encompassing concepts like judicial restraint, wherein judges are expected to apply the law as it stands, rather than reinterpret it according to personal inclinations, a stance he has staunchly upheld against various attempts to infuse partisanship into judicial proceedings. Interlaced throughout this preparation are glimpses of his wider legislative endeavors, including the sponsorship of measures designed to shield small-scale firearm enterprises from unjust regulatory burdens, acknowledging the deep-seated cultural significance of Second Amendment protections in Louisiana's rural heartlands, as well as initiatives to enforce greater transparency in international financial dealings to shield domestic investments from undue external vulnerabilities. As he polishes his final thoughts, Kennedy envisions the ordinary citizens of Louisiana who fuel his drive, the dedicated fishermen meticulously restoring their docks following inundations, the industrious energy sector employees powering national progress, the innovative entrepreneurs launching ventures amid recovery efforts, and contemplates how his forthcoming remarks will amplify their narratives on a national platform. The broader political arena is rife with schisms and competing agendas, yet Kennedy maneuvers through it with a composed assurance, consistently emphasizing fiscal accountability to prevent the accumulation of unsustainable debt that could encumber succeeding generations. His successful pursuits in obtaining grants for post-hurricane revitalization have achieved far more than mere structural restorations. They have rekindled communal optimism, underwriting programs that facilitate stronger rebounds ranging from fortifying flood barriers to establishing support networks for mental health recovery among those affected by profound losses. In the serene interludes preceding the live broadcast, he scribbles additional notations on pivotal arguments, such as the imperative of contesting court rulings via appeals instead of outright defiance, a precept he has both instructed in academic settings and exemplified in his professional conduct. This escalating narrative encapsulates the quintessence of Kennedy's methodology: meticulously prepared, steadfastly ethical, and intrinsically linked to the populace he represents. Poised to engage the public discourse with the identical tenacity that has solidified his status as a reliable advocate within the Senate chambers. His initiatives in fostering employment opportunities extend well beyond rhetorical pledges. He has endorsed statutes aimed at stimulating residential development, correlating federal incentives with municipal construction paces to alleviate housing deficits and catalyze economic expansion in historically overlooked districts. As the pressure intensifies in the hours leading to the on-air appearance, Kennedy's serene composure reassures his support team. His witty asides, such as likening unchecked allegations to unearthing a surplus of serpents beyond one's capacity to manage, serving to alleviate tension while anchoring substantive deliberations. Throughout these preparations, his profound allegiance to Louisiana radiates, encompassing everything from promoting cost-effective housing solutions in disaster-stricken zones to guaranteeing the streamlined disbursement of federal allocations to the most critical needs, personifying a governance style that proves both impactful and profoundly relatable. The groundwork is laid for an exchange that will not merely address policy intricacies, but also illuminate the humanistic dimensions of public service, where Kennedy's astute insights and engaging humor are set to pierce through the cacophony, imparting to audiences a heightened regard for the pillars of justice and governmental responsibility. Furthermore, his engagement in bolstering educational frameworks is noteworthy, as he has advocated for increased allocations toward vocational education schemes that arm younger generations in Louisiana with practical competencies suited to contemporary job markets, while also striving to improve healthcare accessibility by facilitating the establishment of enhanced medical infrastructures in sparsely populated rural locales. These multifaceted contributions underscore his comprehensive vision for progress, harmoniously integrating economic advancement with societal welfare, thereby ensuring that every segment of Louisiana society experiences inclusive benefits. As the timeline compresses toward the scheduled airing, Kennedy conducts a final mental walkthrough, his thoughts brimming with the significance of embodying a state that has endured meteorological tempests and metaphorical challenges alike. His resolve fortified by the conviction that his articulation will transcend the confines of the studio, striking a chord with those who rely upon him to convey verities with lucidity and valor. His advocacy reaches into environmental stewardship as well, promoting balanced approaches to coastal restoration projects that mitigate erosion and preserve wetlands' vital ecosystems, that support fisheries and protect against storm surges, thereby sustaining livelihoods and natural heritage for future inhabitants. In parallel, he has supported research funding for agricultural innovations, helping farmers adapt to changing climates and market demands, ensuring Louisiana's role as a key provider in national food security remains robust. This layered preparation reflects a holistic commitment, weaving together threads of legal acumen, economic foresight, and community empathy into a tapestry of effective representation. Kennedy's efforts in small business support include backing tax incentives that encourage entrepreneurship, particularly in sectors like tourism and manufacturing, which are engines of growth in diverse regions, from the French Quarter to the industrial corridors along the Mississippi River. As anticipation peaks, he pauses to reflect on the broader implications of his role, recognizing that each interaction, whether in committee or on camera, serves as a bridge between Washington deliberations and the lived realities of Louisianans striving for prosperity amid uncertainty. His track record in negotiating bipartisan agreements on infrastructure bills demonstrates a pragmatic approach yielding results like upgraded ports and highways that facilitate trade and connectivity, enhancing the state's competitive edge on a national scale. Ultimately, this preparatory journey embodies Kennedy's enduring ethos, a blend of intellectual rigor, cultural authenticity, and unwavering advocacy, setting the scene for a moment where his voice will illuminate paths toward greater accountability and communal strength. As the studio lights flickered on and the cameras rolled in, the bustling CNN set, Senator John Kennedy sat poised and ready, his calm demeanor a testament to years of navigating complex political waters with grace and precision. The interview with anchor Cassie Hunt kicked off with a direct dive into the contentious nomination for a Justice Department official, a figure accused by critics of advising clients to defy court orders, a claim that Kennedy addressed head-on with his trademark clarity and conviction. He affirmed his belief in the nominee's explanations after thorough questioning in the Senate Judiciary Committee, emphasizing that the core principle of legal ethics demands respect for judicial rulings. If you disagree, you appeal, criticize ethically, or resign, but never ignore the law, a stance he's upheld consistently in his oversight role to maintain the integrity of the justice system. Hunt pressed on referencing whistleblower accounts that painted the nominee in a negative light, but Kennedy countered smoothly with a folksy analogy, noting that if everyone's deemed corrupt, then no one truly is, highlighting how repeated partisan-driven accusations can dilute their impact, and underscoring his commitment to fair evaluations over knee-jerk reactions. This exchange showcased Kennedy's preparation, turning what could have been a tense confrontation into a thoughtful discussion on accountability, all while weaving in his broader efforts to support small businesses in Louisiana through tax relief policies that ease burdens on entrepreneurs.